Nike struck absolute gold when they signed Caitlin Clark to an 8-year, $28 million endorsement deal. So why in the world are they ignoring her? At the start of this year's WNBA season, it was announced that Caitlin Clark signed a massive endorsement deal with Nike. This deal was for 8 years, $28 million with a signature sneaker included. We have not seen any commercials, we have not seen any ads, we have not seen any Caitlin Clark merchandise, and we for sure as hell have not seen any Caitlin Clark signature shoes.
You won't believe what just happened in the world of women's basketball. Caitlin Clark, the rookie sensation, just dropped a bombshell that's shaking up the entire sports industry. Remember how everyone thought she was locked in with Nike? Well, guess what? She just walked away from the biggest name in sports and chose Adidas instead. But here's the real kicker. It wasn't just about the money. Nike had Clark on the shelf, barely promoting her despite her insane talent. Adidas saw her potential and swooped in with a deal that's making everyone's jaws drop.
Nike is obviously the biggest brand in athletic apparel, and Caitlin seemed to be a perfect fit for the brand entire season.
We're talking $30 million and a promise to make her the face of women's basketball. That's like going from bench warmer to MVP overnight. You know what's absolutely mind-blowing? Nike had Caitlin Clark, the hottest player in women's basketball, right in the palm of their hand. They scored this incredible $28 million deal with her, and everyone thought it was game over. But man, did they drop the ball big time. Let's talk about that Nike contract for a second.
Caitlin Clark, remember that girl, that superstar playing for Iowa that ended up going to the Final Four? She's got one of the hottest selling jerseys in sports, y'all, according to Fanatics, led by the one and only Michael Rubin. The deal is the richest sponsorship contract for a women's basketball player. She deserves it!
$28 million sounds like a dream come true, right? But here's the kicker. Nike did absolutely nothing with Clark. No flashy commercials, no billboards lighting up Times Square, not even a peep on social media. It's like they signed the golden goose and then locked her in the basement. Imagine having the most electrifying player in women's basketball, someone who's breaking records left and right, and just ignoring her. It's like Nike forgot they even had her on the team. They pushed her signature shoe release all the way to 2026. That's not just a delay, that's practically prehistoric in the fast-paced world of sports marketing. Meanwhile, Clark's out there on the court, lighting it up like the 4th of July. She's bringing in millions of viewers, making highlight reels that go viral faster than you can say three-pointer. The whole world is watching Caitlin Clark, but Nike? They're sitting on the sidelines, twiddling their thumbs. It's like they signed LeBron James in his rookie year and then told him to go sit on the bench and maybe we'll talk in a couple of years. Can you imagine the uproar if they did that to a men's basketball star? But somehow they thought it was okay to do it to the brightest star in women's basketball. While Clark's out there breaking ankles and shattering records, Nike's marketing team is nowhere to be found. She's single-handedly revitalizing interest in women's basketball, bringing in fans who've never watched a WNBA game in their lives. And Nike's response? Radio silence. It's not like Clark was some unknown quantity. She was a sensation in college, breaking scoring records and drawing comparisons to some of the greatest players in the game. Everyone knew she was going to be a game changer in the pros. Everyone, it seems, except Nike. Just when everyone thought the game was over, a new player stepped onto the court. Adidas saw what Nike couldn't or wouldn't see. But here's the real kicker. What if I told you their offer wasn't just about money, but about changing the entire landscape of women's sports? While Nike was snoozing, Adidas was wide awake and ready to make moves. They saw Caitlin Clark lighting up the court like a human firework, and you know what they thought? We've got to get her on our team no matter what it takes. And boy, did they come in hot. You're not going to believe this, but Adidas swooped in with a monster offer, $30 million. That's not just a raise, that's a whole different universe of cash. But here's the thing. It wasn't just about the Benjamins. Adidas wasn't just trying to buy a player. They were investing in the future of women's sports. Imagine this. Adidas is promising to make Clark the face of women's basketball. We're talking signature shoes that kids will be lining up around the block to buy. Massive marketing campaigns that'll have Clark's face plastered on billboards from New York to LA. The works, people. It's like they're saying, hey Caitlin, we don't just want you to play basketball, we want you to change the game. And you know what's even crazier? They got legends backing them up. We're talking icons like Billie Jean King throwing their support behind this move. It's like Adidas assembled a dream team just to convince Clark to join their roster. This isn't just some random sponsorship deal. Adidas is playing 4D chess while Nike's still trying to figure out how to set up the board. They're not just thinking about next season, they're thinking about the next decade of women's sports. They saw a chance to not just sign an athlete, but to spark a revolution in how we view and value women's athletics. Just when Adidas thought they had the game in the bag, Nike decided to join the party. But here's the million-dollar question. Is their last-minute hustle enough to keep Caitlin Clark on their team? The answer might surprise you, and it's got everyone from fans to industry insiders buzzing. So, Nike finally wakes up from their nap, but man, it might be too late for them to catch up. You know what they did? They threw up this giant banner of Clark at the Indiana Fever Arena. Talk about a Hail Mary pass, but come on, a banner after months of radio silence? That's like bringing a water gun to a house fire. It's almost laughable how little it is compared to what Adidas is offering. And get this, Nike's CEO, Elliott Hill, starts pointing fingers at their marketing team. He's blaming revenue drops and internal issues for why they didn't promote Clark. Can you believe it? They're trying to explain away why they ignored the hottest player in women's basketball. It's like they forgot they had a superstar on their roster until Adidas came knocking. But here's where it gets really interesting. While Nike was sleeping on Clark, they had no problem promoting other players like A'ja Wilson. So what gives? Everyone's scratching their heads, wondering why Nike dropped the ball with Clark but not with others. It doesn't add up, and fans are calling them out on social media big time. You want to know the craziest part? All this scrambling from Nike only happened after Adidas made their move. It's like they were caught with their sneakers untied and now they're trying to sprint to catch up. But Adidas is already halfway down the court and Nike's barely off the starting line. Imagine being Nike right now. You've got the biggest star in women's basketball, someone who's bringing in millions of viewers and breaking records left and right. And what do? You let her sit on the shelf. No commercials, no big campaigns, nothing. It's like having a Ferrari in your garage and never taking it for a spin. Here's the thing about superstars. They don't stay on the shelf for long. Clark's got a choice to make, and it's bigger than just picking a logo. We're talking about a decision that could rewrite the playbook for women's sports marketing. Ready to see how this goes down? So here's Caitlin Clark standing at the crossroads of her career. On one side, you've got Nike, the big name in sports, but they've been treating her like last season's sneakers. On the other, there's Adidas, ready to roll out the red carpet and make her the face of women's basketball. Talk about a tough call, right? But here's where it gets real. Clark's not just thinking about the zeros on her paycheck, she's looking at the bigger picture. This isn't just about which logo she'll wear on her feet, it's about her legacy, her impact on the game, and the future of women's sports. Imagine being in her shoes for a second. You've got the power to shake things up, to make history. What would you do? Adidas isn't just offering Clark a deal, they're offering her a revolution. They're saying, hey, we see you. We see what you can do for the game. They're talking signature shoes that'll fly off the shelves, marketing campaigns that'll make her a household name, the works. It's like they're handing her the keys to the kingdom and saying, it's all yours. And you know what? Clark's not just thinking about herself. She's thinking about all the little girls out there who dream of playing in the big leagues. She's thinking about changing the game so that the next generation of female athletes won't have to fight so hard for recognition. In the end, Clark made her choice. She went with Adidas, and let me tell you, it's a slam dunk decision. She's not just switching brands, she's sending a message. She's saying, I know my worth, and I'm not settling for less. It's like she just hit a game-winning three-pointer in the world of sports business. But here's the real kicker. Clark's not just playing basketball anymore. She's changing the entire sports industry. She's showing that women athletes have serious star power, that they can call the shots and make the big moves. It's like she just opened the door for a whole new era in sports marketing. Wow, what a wild ride this has been. Caitlin Clark just flipped the script on the entire sports world. She showed everyone that women athletes aren't just here to play, they're here to dominate the business side too. This isn't just about basketball anymore. It's about knowing your value and not letting anyone lowball you. Clark's move is like a game-winning shot in the final seconds. She's not just changing teams, she's changing the whole game. Think about it. How many other female athletes are going to look at this and say, hey, I can do that too? We might be seeing the start of something huge here. Are we on the brink of a new era in women's sports marketing? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure, Caitlin Clark just changed the game forever.